Only occasional records have reached us, and it is very difficult to restore image of one of the most interesting persons of ancient history. Person of huge physical strength, strong spirit, and noble character that is more suitable for an educated Hellen than for a slave. That is the way how historians describe Spartacus, leader of the most grandiose rebellion of ancient Rome. Contrary to the established concepts, Spartacus was born a free man, not a slave. According to one of the versions, he belonged to the dynasty of Spartakids, regents of Bosporan kingdom. However, it is more likely that he was not a noble man and came from the family of Thracians. Spartacus was forced to serve in Roman army. He deserted, but was caught and sent to be a gladiator. On the arena, his bravery and sword skills were so perfect that they impressed thousands of spectators who requested to set the man free. Dictator Sulla agreed with the crowd and even granted Spartacus Roman citizenship. Spartacus was admitted to be a fencing teacher to the gladiatorial school near Capua, belonging to Lentulus Batiotus. Slaves gladiators were cruelly treated in the school. They were lashed and shackled for the slightest misdemeanor. In 73 BC, shocked by brutality that prevailed in the school, Spartacus became one of the organizers of the rebellion plot. About 200 gladiators were involved in it, and they decided to mount a rebellion. But their plan was discovered, and only 78 people had managed to break out of Capua. The plotters settled down on Mount Vesuvius and elected 3 leaders, Oenomaus, Crixus, and Spartacus. The latter was the most powerful and demonstrated brilliant organizing skills and commanding power. In the beginning, Roman authorities did not attach special significance to the rebellion, but their first attempts to capture the rebels failed. Spartacus's troop successfully resisted their attack and, moreover, seized weapons of legionaries. Romans decided to block the only path by which the rebels could descend from Vesuvius. Claudius, a Roman praetor, hoped that starvation would soon force the gladiators to yield. But Spartacus elaborated a brave plan. By his order, long and firm rope ladders were weaved from wild vines. Under the cover of morning mist, the rebels descended the mountain and penetrated the rear of the enemy army. The troops of legionaries were taken aback. News about Spartacus's successes quickly spread across the Roman Empire. The rebels swelled in number as many escaped gladiators, slaves, and peasants joined them. However, Spartacus, being an experienced warrior, understood that he would not be able to win a battle if Rome gathered a large army against the rebels. So he insisted to move the army, before it was too late, outside of Italy, and to send runaway slaves back to the homeland. But his opinions were not shared by the other members, who wanted to continue the war and, moreover, to undertake the campaign to Rome. For the army of slaves, it was equivalent to suicide. Spartacus decided to leave Italy, and the majority of the rebels followed him. The army of Cassius was defeated completely near the town of Mutina. It seemed that the much-awaited victory was so close to him, road to Gaul via Alps was opened. However, his military successes seemed to have gone to his head and made him believe in his invincibility. He gave up his initial plan, and together with his army that counted about 120,000 people, turned his steps to the south. Spartacus decided to sail across to Sicily, where also there was a full-scale rebellion. But the Sicilian pirates, out of fear for incurring the anger of powerful Rome, deceived Spartacus and did not get their vessels to Bruttium. And the rebels' self-made rafts were destroyed by the storm. Spartacus's army was stuck between the sea and the duly arriving legionaries of Marcus Crassus, the Roman commander. The Romans dug a ditch 55 kilometers long and cut off the escape route for Spartacus. However, the brave Thracian managed to lead his army out from the Bruttium trap. In the dark night, the rebels heaped the ditch up with brushwood and escaped the ambush. The last battle between armies of Spartacus and Crassus took place in 71 BC in Apulia. Before the battle, people of Spartacus brought him his horse, but he seized his sword out and killed his favorite animal. In case of victory, I will have everything, and in case of defeat, I'll not need my horse. The decisive battle started early in the morning and had turned into bloody slaughter by the time of sunset. Spartacus fought like a hero against a number of enemies who rounded him up in a live circle. He was badly wounded in the thigh, but still continued to defend himself bravely against the Roman soldiers. Only when he was wounded with spears, pierced into his back, did he fall down. Most of his warriors gave their lives at this battlefield, and those who survived suffered an awful fate. The winners crucified 6,000 captives on the crest along the road from Capua to Rome. This was a distressing result of the audacious war of slaves that lasted for 3 years. More than 2,000 years have passed since then. The history has preserved neither the portrait of Spartacus nor any reliable information about his life. Nevertheless, image of the mighty warrior becomes a symbol of courage and of strive for freedom. Spartacus lives in the novel by Raffaello Giovagnoli, film by Stanley Kubrick, and ballet by Aram Khachaturian.